Hello and welcome to the Lund University International Podcast. On the show, you'll hear from current students, alumni, researchers, professors, and many more special guests as we explore what it's really like to live, study, and work at Lund University, a world top 100 university. My name is Meg, and I am a current student in the Masters of Applied Cultural Analysis program from Seattle, USA, as well as a student worker here in the External Relations Office. Lund is famous for having some of the best student life in Northern Europe, and in this episode, we're talking all about making the most of your free time as an international student. How can you balance studies and personal time while exploring Lund on a budget? Where are the best spots for nature, day trips, and food? And what sports, gyms, and cultural events should you check out? We'll also cover how to meet new people through nations and student unions, the best ways to get around, and must-try seasonal activities in Sweden. Whether you're looking for adventure or just a quiet place to relax, we've got you covered. Welcome to my three guests in the studio today. If you could go ahead and start by introducing yourselves and where you come from, maybe what you study.
Hi, I'm Megan from Guatemala, and I initially did a bachelor's here in development studies, and when I graduated, I started a master's in disaster risk management and climate change adaptation.
Hi, I'm Filipa, and I'm Portuguese, and I'm doing the same master's in disaster risk management and climate change adaptation.
My name is Fleur. I'm from the Netherlands, and I'm also doing the same master's, which name I will not repeat, but in disaster risk management.
Okay, great. Welcome, all of you, to the studio. Thank you so much for joining us today. First of all, the question that everybody's got on their mind as they're trying to figure out budgeting before they move to Lund, is it possible for students to have fun and explore Lund and beyond on a budget?
I would say so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of free, fun activities, or low-budget activities as well. I mean, especially when the weather is nice, you can go out to different parks and different areas, and there's good student discounts and also group discounts to travel around the area. So it's very possible to do it on minimum budget, especially if you pack your own sandwiches like you do.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of doing things by yourself and maybe not as much out of the house. So we don't go out for dinner to a restaurant, but we cook all together and then we have a really fun night having dinner together. But at someone's place, we don't necessarily go out always and have a drink in a cafe, but instead we have a fun night playing games and watching movies and having a drink at our own place. So it's a lot of, I guess, kind of having a little bit of a self-informed kind of fun where you don't always have to necessarily go out and do the most expensive thing.
And you mentioned student discounts. If you, Filipa, perhaps could give a few examples, what sort of things do they give student discounts on in Lund?
Well, you have discounts for a variety of things. So, for example, if you're looking into more sports-related stuff, the gyms here in Lund offer really, really good discounts for students. Even for eating out, there's quite a few places that also offer student discounts. And then, for example, if you're looking into getting around in Lund and around the Skåne area, it's very, very, it's a little bit cheaper for students if you buy the tickets using your student card. And also, if you're traveling with your friends, if you buy tickets together, then you also get a really good discount. So make friends and travel with friends.
Pro tips. And then something that comes up a lot, something that's quite unique to Lund, is that we do have student nations, which I know we've talked about in past podcasts, but maybe if you guys could talk a little bit about how international students can meet new people through the nations or student unions or other activities. Did you guys struggle to make friends?
Well, I think for us, we're a part of the Faculty of Engineering, so we did a lot with the student union there at the beginning. We had very long introduction weeks. I think it was very easy for us to make friends there. We were very intensely together, so you kind of had to become quite close over the course of 4 weeks. But then now we do quite a bit more with nations. We meet some people there. But I think Megan and Filipa can tell a lot more about that because they're very active at the nation as well.
Yeah, so Filipa and I are active at Kristianstad Nation. I'm not saying it right in Swedish, so bear that in mind. But we both live there currently. And I've been active there since fall of 2020. And I think the nations are a great place to make friends, especially because you are kind of like learning some new skills along with each other. Like you can have lunches where you can host lunches, pubs, for example, like things that I don't know. Whenever I invite my friends to work for me, they say it's like playing Papa's Pizzeria on like your iPhone. You know, it's like very much you get to like be in a fun like kitchen work environment, like the bear corner. You know, but there's also sittings and other activities that you can do at the nations. And if you want to learn more about them, you can go to their SAF, so the Student Association Fair, where all of them are present. And I would just recommend you go up and talk to them and kind of just catch the vibe of what they're doing. And then an important thing to note is that if you join one nation, you're very welcome to switch nations later on if you just kind of ended up liking somewhere else. And you can also join any nation activities regardless of which nation you become a member of. And I've never experienced going to one nation and them be like ever like saying, oh, you're from this nation, so you know this is like our own activity or something. It's very much just a way for students to meet and work and also get cheaper discounts on food and beverages.
Yeah, if you're looking for cheap lunches, the nations offer lunches that are like super, super cheap. And if you're a member of that nation, you get an extra discount as well. So that's very, very good. But I would also say if people are coming to Lund to study and they're not very big on Facebook, get on Facebook. Because, yes, that's where they're going to find most of the events for all of the nations and stuff. So, yeah.
Sweden loves Facebook. I can't figure it out. Yeah. They love Messenger.
Yeah. They'll also like the municipality will post events there as well, like the farmers market or something. So if you're not on Facebook, you really need to be on there.
Yeah. And then something else that comes up quite often, especially as students maybe are not as familiar with the Swedish style of teaching, is it possible to balance your studies and personal time? Do you feel like you get both as a student here?
Yeah, I feel like we have found it quite easy. I think also because it's just a matter of time management and you can still have fun while studying as well. So join study groups. And also, for example, we love going to John Scott's pub for the pub quiz. And so what we would do is we'll just go there early, study, do a little bit of work, get out of the way, and then just enjoy ourselves for the pub quiz. So it's just really about finding that balance. But yeah, I think we have found that it has been quite easy. I think it's a bit depressing over the winter when it gets a little bit dark and stuff. So I think at that time, you really do need to start getting on study groups and just enjoy more cozy times with your friends.
Yeah, I also, with my friends, we used to do study sessions around the university because there's so many lovely libraries and campuses for the different faculties. And whenever we just kind of felt stuck in a rut in our one building where we would always take classes, we would just say, okay, tomorrow we're meeting up, but we're going to study with the economy students. And we just like mingle with them and check out different parts of the university, which I think is always a fun way to also keep yourself entertained and see new areas of the city.
And something that's really important to me personally, because I'm a hiking hippie from Seattle, do you guys have any recommendations in Lund or around Lund for walks or nature or day trips? Have you gotten out there and explored it all?
Yeah, so we've done a couple hikes. I would say we really like Söderassen National Park, where you can definitely go for a day. It's pretty in all the seasons. I've been in all the seasons and it's been super pretty in all of them. You can go there by public transport. You can rent a car and go out there. We've really enjoyed Kullaberg. We went there with university, which is a little bit further away, but definitely still doable within a day. We made it a day trip as well. So those are for nature, I think, my like main things that I really, really like. Walks. I also just really like walking around Lund, especially when it's nice weather. I think the center of Lund is so lively and very nice. So even if you want to get out of the house and go on a little walk, we like just walking around the town. Or when it's snowing, we love our little snow walks. But yeah, I think that would be my main tips.
Yeah, I feel like in London it's quite easy to still be surrounded by nature and not having to get on a train to go somewhere on a bus. I mean, we love doing our little picnics in the botanical gardens or just having, I guess, our little book club at the park. And also we were talking about the you say it, the park. The
Sankt
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, apparently it's like really, really good for like watching the sunset and just hanging out with your friends. It's very, very beautiful and peaceful.
I feel like all the best photos I see on Instagram of the Northern Lights are also at Sankt Hans.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Just saw the Northern Lights there. It was very, very pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say my hidden gem for nature is if you ride the tram. There's a tram here in Lund, and there's only one line, so you won't get lost. But if you ride it to the end of the line, all the way to the Max 4 Research Center, there's a lovely park that they've now built there, with a lake and some gardens. And honestly, I just think it's so lovely there. And swings, I love to go on the big swings there. And I feel like that's like the biggest hidden gem in the city for sure.
Pro tip, I'm a tour guide and I didn't even know that was there. Thank you, Megan. And then from outside of Lund and maybe outside of Sweden as well, I know a couple of you are from Europe. Megan, you're not. Have you guys traveled around Sweden, maybe like outside of Skåne or around Europe while you've been studying here?
We went to Gothenburg together. That was a very fun trip. You can get a train almost every hour from Lund, also with a student discount and group discount. And we did a weekend trip. That was lovely. Stockholm. We've all been to Stockholm separately. I've been to the north of Sweden, to Kiruna, to see the Northern Lights and the nature parks up there. And the university, with different associations like ESN, or I don't know which other ones, but I know ESN definitely does, trips where you can like buy a package with them. And those are also just like very useful. And I would like highly recommend if you're coming here for, especially just for like 6 months and you want to get like the most out of it, just buy some of those packages. And I've also been to Finland with the ferry from Stockholm to Finland. And that was very fun. If you're looking for like a little bit of a party, like a novelty story, I would definitely say that that's like a fun thing to do with your friends.
I haven't really traveled that much, outside of Sweden, I guess. But I do have a tip for students looking into going to Stockholm. It's not a very sustainable tip, but the trains can get super expensive to get there. So I would definitely advise checking the flights from Malmö airport. The airport is kind of useless, but for flights to Stockholm is very, very good. And it's like half the price or something. It's very cheap.
I feel like a lot of people don't realize how long Sweden is.
Yes.
I also did a trip up to Kiruna, and I took a train to Uppsala and then drove up to Kiruna, and it took days.
Yeah, when I went there,
country.
oh my God, it was like, I think we took like 3 different trains and it was like a 24-hour trip in total. And obviously because we were balling on a budget, we were like, we didn't get the sleeper train. So we just like sat in our seats for 24 hours. And and also the trains get delayed so much during that time because of the snow. But obviously that's what you're there for. So yeah, train traveling is fun, but it can be long and expensive. Keep that in mind.
Yes.
But worth it, I would say. Yeah, and I think we might not be the best people to talk about traveling outside of Sweden. I mean, Filipa and I have been traveling around Europe for a while, I guess. But we have a lot of friends that actually our class is also traveling around quite a bit. So they're planning a hike in Portugal with a lot of people from the class. They went to Spain. They went to Germany,
Italy, Prague.
Yeah. So they've been traveling around. We've just not really been joining. No, but they definitely travel around quite a bit, and we can definitely see a lot of our friends going on quite some trips. And there's definitely time as well to make those trips, either for the longer weekend or when we have, for example, a Friday off, they make it a longer weekend. So you definitely have time to also travel around, and there's definitely ways to do that on a budget as well.
Okay. And keeping on the topic of getting around and maybe being a little bit more active, that was something that really surprised me when I moved to Sweden. Like training and keeping fit is something that the Swedes hold very important.
Yes.
So you had mentioned, Filipa, that there are some discounts on gyms and things like that. So what sort of options do people have to keep fit, sports clubs or activities that they can get involved in around here?
There's so much. I mean, the gyms are obviously like quite a big thing. They're open 24/7. We go to Gärdehallen, which is right on campus, so it's super convenient, and it's really, really good facilities as well. And then there's all matters of sports clubs as well. We have rugby, we have handball, we have badminton, we have I know, volleyball. We have so many places. We've also played paddle quite a bit as well, which is super fun. And it's also like very, very cheap to do. What other things have we done?
There's an ice skating rink where you can rent your own skates for fairly cheap. We also run because there's the Lund race. Or Loppet, I guess, is race in Swedish, so that was a little bit redundant. but it's the Lund race, and it's very fun because I think it can feel very intimidating to start a race. I at least know that that's how Filipa and I felt when we ran it last year. But because Sweden is so engaged with like activity and just keeping fit and the fun of it, and Lund is very much just like I can't describe like how much the atmosphere of like the people from Lund is just to have the most amount of fun possible for anything. So they had like marching bands playing at every kilometer and like comedians performing at the race. Not while you were running, because I think you'd miss some of the jokes if you're going by too fast. But it was just so much fun. And they have student discounts for that as well, or student deals, and training clubs as well. If you join the nations, a lot of them have sports activities. So I think there's so many possibilities to make like working out or being active not feel like a chore and more like a fun social activity.
Yeah, and I mean, I think also with the gym, the fact that there's so many students around, and the fact that it's right on campus, you see everyone after their classes heading over there and going to do their workout, and you're like, okay, I guess I will also work out today. But also getting some gym buddies. So Megan and Filipa have become my gym buddies since we started our program, and I've had so much fun going every time. So I think that's been really, really nice, is seeing other people go and just being there with all the students. You kind of start recognizing some faces, making some friends. So that's been really nice.
Oh, and also at the gym, at least the one that we go to, they have like up to like 30 classes a day. And some of them are also in English, like quite a few. And there's like body combat, Zumba, body pump, yoga, power yoga. Like there's so many different things. So also if you're a little bit intimidated about going to gym maybe for the first time, because the like free weight room can be like kind of scary, you can just like skip that entirely and just go do like fun dancing for an hour.
That is 100% what I do.
Yeah.
I've actually started taking the classes in Swedish instead of English because I'm like, this is going to count as my Swedish practice for the day. And then just like being yelled at in a language that you sort of understand to like, go harder, go faster. It's a vibe.
Yeah.
And then outside of a physical activity, let's talk a little bit about kind of the cultural experiences. So maybe museums or local events that you guys recommend students to explore. Any favorites?
Yeah, so I would 100% recommend Lucia as one of the cultural events. I joined a choir last year, which was very, very fun. And Lucia is on December 13th. It's where the Swedes celebrate the Saint of Light, and they kind of ask for some light in the very dark winter days. And so joining the choir was very, very fun. But also, I guess you guys came to see my performance, which was very, very nice. But also just that, like going out to see that performance and seeing kind of what they do every year and how they celebrate it is very, very fun. It was a great way for me to learn Swedish because I all of a sudden had to sing a lot of songs in Swedish. So that was very, very fun. But yeah, I think that would definitely be my pro tip, is that one is a very good cultural event, I think. And they have student tickets for a lot of things, which also makes it very, very affordable to go out and see one. They even have free ones in the center on the square. So you can even go for free to one.
Yeah. I think another one of our favorites is the Kulturen Museum. And for that one, you can actually get a yearly membership. So you just pay 200 crowns, and you can go as many times as you want. And we've gone multiple times because it never gets old. And it's so, so pretty out there. And they have very, very fun events. Again, be on Facebook to find them. But they're super fun, and it's really, really beautiful. And then there's also like all the random days that we just love to celebrate here in Sweden. So, for example, we have the Samla Day, which is just this pastry that I have here, which is not that great, guys. But anyways, you do you. And then there's the cinnamon bun day, which is also fun. And they also have a random Nutella day. So they just love their little sweet treats here and there, which we love to celebrate that. And then, there's a bunch of other museums. There's actually a free museum, which...
Skisselas. I think.
Yeah, we debated how it's pronounced. Surely you could have asked someone beforehand, but
the Museum of Sketch.
Yeah, the Museum of Sketch. Thank you.
Yes. If you're a student, you can get in there for free, so that's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah.
My other favorite topic. What are the best, most affordable places to eat in Lund? I can start with my favorite, which is definitely Fengsen's. It's a little odd when you first see it because it's this weird basement, kind of sketchy looking restaurant next to Lund Central Station.
Yeah.
But they served the best handmade dumplings.
Yes,
Absolutely.
And their lunch menu with noodles and soup. I mean, it just you finish your meal and you're like, I want to go back tomorrow.
Ate it.
I gotta go back.
Yeah, that one's very, very good. We also really like 5 Flour Noodle Bar, which is very affordable place to eat as well. There's not too much seating inside, so you have to kind of get lucky. But I guess it's also always busy because it's one of the cheapest places to eat. There's an African lunch deli where they sell lunch. Very, very nice. And on the cheaper side as well. I think that one's very, very nice.
Yeah, that one is super fun because it's a store and it's a restaurant at the same time. So you just have the regular store and then they do this kind of buffet in one of the rooms, and the ladies are so nice, and you can literally just try so many different things. It's a great concept.
Yeah. They also do an international food like festival, I don't know, or market a couple times a year, and we went the last time they had it, and that's also great because food trucks from a lot of different cultures come. My other personal favorite is, if you're just looking for something like fast and cheap-ish, is Gronto Gott, which is like a salad place. And there's one in the city center and there's one near the like Faculty of Engineering. But what's great is that you can like build your own salad and they're very filling salads. And if you're a student, you get like an extra topping for free. And you can also get like one of those like stamp cards, but it's on your phone. So after like 8 or 10 salads, I think, you get another free one. So I don't know, maybe that's just another way to keep me coming back and scam me a little, but I'm all here for it.
Here to be scammed.
Yeah, and I think it's impossible to not mention the falafel places. Yes. That's for sure one of the cheapest ways to still kind of eat out, and the Swedes, they love their falafel, and I have grown to love them as well. So those are really, really great. They have so many places around Lund where you can get a falafel, and they're very, very cheap and very nice.
Falafel was a definite culture shock for me because that's not something that we really partake in Seattle, at least, like in the west coast of the U.S. But it's the only thing that's open past like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, there's been a lot of late night falafels.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's been really nice to see the diversity of the food in Lund, too. Like, you can find Lebanese food, Ethiopian food, Persian food, Italian, like actual Italian food. And it kind of mirrors the international students here. Like, there's something for everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Getting around Lund, how do you guys tend to get around? Do you have bikes, bus passes?
Yeah, so and that might be the Dutch heritage, but I have a bike. I love my bike. I go everywhere on my bike. We're besties. But no, I definitely get around with the bike whenever it's within city limits of Lund. I bike everywhere. But if it's outside of it, then public transport is definitely a good option as well. And then there's a bus stops close to, I think, everyone's place. So definitely I take the bus a lot when I go into Malmö or I go into Copenhagen with the train. But the bike is definitely my main source of transport.
Yeah, until it gets stolen, which is what happened to me. So if you're looking to buying a bike, definitely get a really good look for it. Because bike stealing is a big thing here. But yeah, I mean, it's so easy to get bikes here. There's so many stores. Also on Facebook, people are selling their bikes all the time. It's so easy to get one and very cheap as well. And then, I mean, the public transport is super accessible. You just need to download an app. So that would be Skåne Trafiken. And then you just get tickets to everywhere.
And I walk everywhere. Because personally, like coming from Guatemala City, I wasn't like used to just like walking on my own or being able to like walk everywhere because it's the size difference between a capital city to Lund is crazy. So I ditched my bike after the first semester and I just literally walk everywhere. And I think it's great. So if you're a big walker, you just plan 15 minutes extra into your schedule and enjoy the scenery.
And would you say Lund is a good place? Because Fleur, I know you said you grew up biking, but for a lot of people coming from other countries, maybe they're not as used to biking on the streets. Would you say Lund is a good kind of safe place to start doing that? Is it a bike-friendly city?
Yeah, I would say sometimes it's easier to bike in Lund than it is in the Netherlands. I think in Lund, there's just a lot of respect from other people using traffic to bikes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely a good place to start. I think they also know that a lot of people start riding their bikes here.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the cars are quite careful around the bikes. So even if maybe you're not allowed to go first on the road, they kind of let you go first because they're like, okay, maybe to be safe. But there's a lot of bike paths that are even separated from the road. So that's different from the Netherlands where bike paths are part of the car road. And here it's even separated and it's a little bit higher. So that makes you feel super, super safe. The only thing is that you often share your bike road with people walking. So that requires some sound sometimes to make sure that the people walking get on the side, but I'd rather have someone walking there than a car driving there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's super, super safe here, yeah.
Okay. And then Lund is, of course, in the south of Sweden, so maybe we don't get the coldest or the snowiest winters or the hottest summers, but we do get 4 distinct seasons. So do you guys have any recommendations for seasonal activities that you think people should partake in either in the winter or summer?
In the fall, I know that a lot of people go foraging for Lord knows what.
Mushroom.
But every time I meet a Swede who said they went foraging, they won't reveal the secret of what they actually went, but they'd love to go out to the forest in the fall.
That's on my Swedish bucket list, is get a Swede to show me their secret mushrooms.
Yeah, I know.
And here 2 years, they still haven't done it.
I know, but that's a long-term goal. That's like 10 years plus, I think.
Mm-hmm.
In the winter, they have a Christmas market at Kulturen that we went to, which is lovely.
Mm-hmm.
And also they like put lights all over the city. So even though it's dark, like if it happens to snow or if there's a day where the weather isn't like the wind isn't beating in your face, just a walk around the city is gorgeous. But I would say the best season is end of spring and summer for Lund because the flowers blooming around town, like the Lund commune or like city municipality, I guess, does such a good job of planting flowers in every inch of this town. It is like gorgeous. I can't even describe like how pretty it is to just go out, even just to buy groceries, and there's like tulips growing on the side of the road. Well, probably not tulips, but
lots
like
of crocuses.
Yeah, exactly. All flowers are the same to me, but they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in summer, I would say enjoy the long days. With like midsummer, especially with those days around there in June, go out to a park and just sit and chat with your friends.
Yeah, and go to the beach as well. We're so close to the coast here that it's so easy to access to the beach. We biked quite a few times to Lomma, which is, I don't know, like 8 kilometers from me. Yeah, exactly. And it's lovely, the beach there, so that's super nice. And then, we also have Valborg, which is literally like, in a month?
Yeah, 30th of April.
Yes, which we don't really know what that celebrates, to be honest. I feel like no one really knows.
But we celebrate.
Yes. So it's just like a day of drinking nonstop, which say no to alcohol, guys. But it's super fun. There's this event in the park here in Lund where we just go super early. We just sit around, we drink. There is a DJ. And then there's parties all over the town, which is super, super fun.
Yeah, and I think, Megan, you already said midsummer a bit, but midsummer is on the 21st of June, and it's the longest day of the year, and they kind of, in real Swedish fashion, they go and dance around a pole in a circle. It's very fun. It's nothing like the horror movie. It's actually a really nice day, I would say, very cutesy day where you go and celebrate it with your friends. You go and have some food, have a picnic or something. You go and dance a bit. There's a lot of flowers around and pastel colors and everything looks very cute. So midsummer is definitely also, if you can stay until that time in June, even after the semester is over, then I would definitely suggest celebrating midsummer in Sweden because it's a very, very nice day as well.
Yeah. Oh, and in the summer, I forgot to mention this for the hikes before, but the Skåne like transport app and like system, I guess, they release a summer ticket, which is like 800 crowns and it lasts, I think, 2 months. But that's a great deal. Like if you're here over the summer, that is like a fantastic deal for traveling, and it lets you go anywhere in the Skåne region. And Skåne has like such beautiful hikes and beaches that you might not go to another day because it would be just 150 crowns just by yourself that day. But if you do a bunch of day trips over the summer and enjoy the nice weather, and there's an app that someone recommended to me called Komoot, which is to look up different hiking spots. And there's a bunch of people who, it's like kind of a social media for hikers, and they will show what routes they have done, which is great in Sweden. Yeah.
Perfect. It sounds like you guys have really made the most, not only of being in Skåne in Sweden, but like of being around Lund as well. I love to hear that you've embraced all of the Swedish holidays and all of the student traditions. Once again, thank you so much for joining me today. You guys are amazing. I hope we can hang out sometime after the podcast. It sounds like you get up to a lot of fun things. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope you enjoy the sun.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Lund University International Podcast. If you're interested in learning more about Lund University, you can go to our website, lunduniversity.lu.se. You can also follow us on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and X, and you can connect with our amazing student ambassadors on Unibuddy. Don't forget to subscribe, and we look forward to bringing you a new episode very soon.